Hello, Book Talk and BookTube friends and family. Who loves to binge read cozy series? If you do, I have the author for you. This is my new friend, Bessie Barr. I'm a super fan already after only two books, and I will be reading the rest of them. But please welcome to the channel, Bessie Barr. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
So 14 books in already, and I've um, I've read book 14 and I've read book zero. Is it is
Yes,
James zero?
prequel. We'll call it the prequel.
Prequel,
Yes.
yeah. So I've read two of your books as well. I've got 13 more to read, which I will do. Um, I I love your writing. I love your characters. Where why Pelican Shores? So Pelican Shores is a mystery of fake island that doesn't exist off the coast of Texas.
Yes.
Let me guess. You live on an island off the coast of Texas.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because truth is stranger than fiction, right?
Absolutely.
Um, yeah. So my husband and I moved from North Texas about 3 years ago, and we just decided we were going to do a complete flip down to the coast of Texas. We looked everywhere. Did we want to be river people or lake people or beach people? And the beach kept calling our name.
Yeah.
So down to Texas coast we went. So we live on an island off the coast of Texas, and it's a little golf cart city that we live in, which is very similar to Pelican Shores. So
Yeah.
we can hop on our golf cart and tootle up over the dunes, boardwalk, and be at the beach. And then travel up and down the beach to get into town proper or to come back. And so just kind of this fun little quirky island that we live on. And that kind of translates over into Pelican Shores.
And that's the word that I love, quirky, because for me, quirky characters are what make a cozy series so um exciting for me. And your characters are just wonderful. Like I can't have a favorite yet because I'm still only on two books, but Birdie's up there. Birdie's definitely up there as like she I think Birdie's what everyone all of us wish we could be, just like a beach bum, but a
Yes. Yeah.
upmarket beach bum.
Yes. Birdie, it's so funny because when I started Pelican Shores series, I thought Finn was going to be my go-to. And I mean, it's from her point of view,
Right,
right?
right,
So
yeah,
she's my narrator. We're in her head all the time. And yet Birdie resonates with me as much as she resonates with all of my characters. And so
yeah,
Birdie's fun. She's a boondocker. Finn has come in. She lives in this beautiful estate setting in
mm-hmm.
one of the small houses, not one of the rich houses, in one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
smaller houses. And
yeah,
right over her boardwalk is where Birdie does her boondocking. And
yeah.
she's fun. She's got a cat. She's got a tent that stays on top of her Subaru, of course. And that's her lifestyle. And she is ridiculous and funny and witty. And she's just fun. She's
Right,
delicious. That's what she
yes.
is.
And
Mhm.
but she doesn't just have a cat. She's got Queen Bean. Queen Bean is more than just a cat. She's an icon.
Yes, Queen Bee. Now she was inspired by my childhood cat, an orange and
Yeah,
white fluffy cat. And so every time I write Queen Bean, I think about my childhood cat. Although my cat was cuddly, and Queen Bean, I mean, she's got those murder mittens every day of the week.
yep. And I love how judgmental she is. I love how superior she is. I love how she lords it over everybody. She's what we all know cats really secretly are.
Yes, yes. Yeah, she's so much fun. And then she's countered by Bo, who is the golden retriever, found a stray dog in the dunes and
Mm-hmm.
Finn has adopted. So they come as a quad, right? Finn and
Right.
Birdie and Bo and Queen Bean. And
Yes.
they're fun to write because I love just tossing in Bo and Queen Bean, especially in takedowns. Like that is so much fun for me.
Right. Yes. And that scene at the towards the end of Death of the Midway Mermaid, when both Queen Bee and Bo were on the chase. I was like,
Yeah.
come on, come on, come on, come on. I was like cheering for them. So,
It's
so it
so much.
worked. Well, let's start off with the first book because the prequel, Death by the Dunes, which is where we meet
Yes,
Finn for the first time, and
yes.
some of the quirky characters in the town. So
Hmm.
I I love that book. It's what 50, 60 pages. You can read it in one sitting, which you must do because you can't stop
Yeah.
because you
That's
have to
sweet of
know what's
you.
going on. You meet Birdie for the first time, and so she and Pace Stringfellow, the cop, have this. I suspect it's going to be a running joke throughout the whole series about her having to move the car every 4 days so that he
Yeah,
doesn't
by the
lose
end
her.
of the third day. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
so, yeah,
go ahead.
well,
I was just going to say, so the rule on the beach in Pelican Shores, you can only camp overnight for 3 days in a row without a camping permit, and
right.
they only cost $10. But Birdie, on just the pretense of that, she's like, I'm not paying $10. I'm just so she'll get in her car, pack it all up, and move it about 50 feet down the beach, set it all back up, and so it's this ongoing. Like she's always chasing that clock and between pace and then Dick Campese.
Oh, yes.
He's a fun one because he just thinks that he's in charge of everything.
Put
So
it on board
they
and
always come along trying to catch her missing her time. So
yeah,
yeah, that's always fun to write too.
by book 14, Death of the Midway Mermaid, they still haven't. That she and Paces. There was almost he almost got her. There was a race to move it in time, but I suspect that Paces may be letting her get away with it a little bit more than he should because he's a good guy down. Yeah.
He is a good guy. Yeah, he's proper Southern gentleman, but he's not going to let her know that. He's going to make her
Or
think that she's definitely in the hot seat for that one. And Dick
yeah.
Campese, if he could catch her, he would, and
Oh,
he would citizens arrest her for sure.
oh,
It'd be
terrible.
terrible.
But I guess we all need a person like him in the town because there's always someone like him in a town, in a small town.
Oh yeah, who Dick Campese?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's fun. Everybody hates him, and yet sometimes a couple of the books he comes in clutch here and there, and it's like, oh my goodness. I won't even say which one. You'll have to read through and let me know when you find it. But
Good.
I had one reader, she's like, I hate Dick Campese so much that I love him. And yet this book, I like really love him. Like he
Oh,
came in clutch when he needed to.
good.
And of course, then he throws that off because he gets his whistle back out and his little clipboard back out and
Yes.
keeps doing the Dick thing.
All right. So Death by the Dunes is where we get to meet the cast of characters.
Yes.
I don't want to say too much more about that book because I don't want any spoilers for anybody.
Yep. Yep.
But Finn arrives in town. Pretty much the next day, she finds a dead body. Um, Birdie's there. Pace Stringfellow, the policeman, thinks that she might be responsible because she's new in town, and suddenly there's a body. So, so she sets out to become an amateur sleuth to try and make sure that she's not held responsible for the dead body. So
That's right.
and a great introduction to the series. So there's 13 more, and then we've got Death of the Midway Mermaid, which is just released this month.
Yes.
And thank you for that arc of that book because I was one of the few that got the privilege to read it first before many other people, and I loved it. I love so much about this book. What I think is really important and what you do really well is that yes, you can binge read all 14 of the books, but if you like me and you accidentally pick one up later in the series, you can read it as a standalone and you don't need the full history. So
Yeah.
I get frustrated sometimes if I pick up a book later in the series and it's referring to all these incidents that have happened in the past, and I feel like I've missed out on so much and can't
Yeah.
enjoy the story. You don't do that. Each book is a standalone with characters that have been developed, but the little tiny references to the past that you sneak in that just make it, oh yeah, okay, that's good. I love that.
And I'm so glad to hear you say it. That is one of the hardest things that I do is trying to make sure that anybody who just stumbles in and says, "Oh, there's Death, Sand, and Pirates Plunder. I'm going to read it," can hop in there and still not feel like they're lost. That and it's difficult, and yet I want to give enough of the backstory, like
Yeah.
who owns Sandy Brews. Like we need to know who owns that, and
Yeah.
that makes sense. We don't necessarily have to know all the details about how they own it, but we need to know enough that they own it. And how do I do that without boring those readers who read every book? So I find that that's a challenge for me. So thank you for that feedback because it helps me to know that I've done okay with it.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Good.
Death of the Midway Mermaid. We've got a carnival that comes to town, and the mermaid. She's not a real mermaid. She's a beautiful lady with a plastic tail, and she's in the tank, and she dies in the tank. And at first, people think she's drowned, but there's, of course, like most cozies, there's something more sinister going on, and it is sinister. The way that
Mhm.
the reason that she died is very sinister. And you're mean. You're so mean to do that to her. Like what you that's not nice. You're not very
I've heard.
nice.
I've
But
heard. I've heard.
but it's it's a great blindside, and I also love being blindsided. So
Yes.
blindsiding is very good. So,
Yes.
but of the characters, so 14 books in, I guess in the first few books, you were able to kill off some of the not so nice townspeople
Yes.
because
Hmm.
because you've got them on tap. But after a while, after you've killed off so many townspeople, you kind of need to get people come to town and then die. So
Sometimes.
is that what
Sometimes.
is that how it's heading? Because that's where that's what the Midway Mermaid's about. Like this, the carnival comes to town, and
Yes.
and she is such a lovely person, and then you go and kill her.
I had some real reader hate for they still gave me 5 stars, but they're like, "Oh my gosh, I loved her." I'm like, "You knew her for just like 2 or 3 chapters."
Yes,
But
but her goals and her dreams and what she was
I
going to
know.
do, like you
I
just
know. I
invest in
know.
her.
I know. And it's just interesting because yes, sometimes it'll be somebody new that comes to town. I'm also not afraid to kill off somebody in town if needed, if that serves the purpose. I don't mind the victim being somebody in town. So I try not to go through a formula. That's all when
Okay,
it comes. And so, and really that I think you've chatted in the past with other authors about the rules of cozy. I mean, really your victim is typically the ugly mean one that everybody hates.
right, yeah,
And so this one, I thought, well, my thought was if I can put it, I've got my book here. If I can put it, Death of the Midway Mermaid on the cover, then people are going in knowing what's about to happen, right? So
and
maybe
that's
they
great.
can't be too attached, but
And that
apparently they were still attached.
yeah, because
So
because you made her such a beautiful character before you
I
killed her.
know, I know it. Yeah.
So
So sometimes that's fun though. Sometimes we need that emotional connection to feel the story differently. And that's what I don't want to do with cozy is I never want it to just feel regulated. I want it to be wherever my imagination takes it is where I
yeah,
want my books to go.
that's
And that's
great.
always my goal is to sprinkle in a little bit of me into every one of my plots and make that come through and make people feel something. So they felt it. Some people
Mm.
were like, I can't believe you killed the mermaid. I said, I told you I was going to kill the
It
mermaid.
says it on the cover. Surprise.
Yeah, there's some, I've got fun stuff planned for Pelican Shores. And
Yay.
yeah, I have fun. I don't want any spoilers, but
No,
yes, some fun stuff. And if I speak too much, I'll get all and I'll give a spoiler. So I won't say anything there, but
okay.
lots of
Well,
good stuff coming for Pelican Shores.
speaking of series continuing, so you're book 14 now.
Yes.
Please tell me that there's 20, 50, 100 books coming in the series. Like you're not going to stop.
I'm not going to stop. I started a new series, so I'm kind of doing a launch like every other book, this series, that series.
Oh,
But
smart.
everybody has said, I love the new series, but please tell me Pelican Shores is not done. And so I'm like,
Right.
it's not done. And I have some really, really fun, like wake me up in the middle of the night. I keep a little journal by my bed so that I can like turn on the light and write things down. Otherwise, my brain won't rest. And I won't be able to sleep. So I've been journaling and writing down how I want the series to continue. And I've got some really, really fun things. I'm so excited about it. Some really
Oh,
fun things coming for Pelican Shores.
I'm so excited too. So you just touched on it. You've got a second series, The Owl
Yes.
Sisters.
And the Owl Ladies.
The Our
Mhm.
Lady, sorry. And
Yeah.
this is set in the 1900s. So this is speaking my language because I love historical stories,
Uh-huh.
storylines. And so you've got one book's released. Book two's coming out very soon.
Yep. Next month and yep, on the 10th, less than a month, about three
Yes.
weeks.
Yay. And then book
Yes.
three.
It's for in time for Christmas. So probably in
Perfect.
November.
So
Yep.
what can you tell us briefly about the Our Ladies without spoilers?
The Owl Ladies. Oh my goodness, this one's fun too. This one is set in 1900. The very first book is New Year's Eve, 1899,
Wow.
leading into 1900. It's set in a small frontier town in Texas. It's loosely, very loosely, based off of where we used to live up north of Dallas. And I picked that time. My husband's grandmother was a very old grandma. She had many kids and my father-in-law was the youngest almost of those kids. And then he was an older dad before he had kids. So my husband's grandma was born in the late 1800s. And so a lot of the stories that come in Texas, and a lot of the stories that are going to come into the Owl Ladies are actual based in fact, stories that she had passed down to her
Oh,
son and my husband. And of course, they'll be loose, lightly touching the truth of those
mhm.
details. But like, it's so exciting because I know some of the places and I know some of the stories and I know some of the everything that happened back there just from the history of that family. So that'll be fun to intermingle some of those things in that. So six ladies, most of the decades of life from 20s up to almost 70 years old, band together and help solve crime in that city.
Fantastic. And book one's tanked. Is that right? Tank
Tanked.
is
Yeah.
book one. Okay, so
Yeah.
everybody, this is the plan. You need to get Death by the Dunes first. Read the first Pelican Shores series so that you understand the premise of the series. Go and binge read up to 14 if you can. If you can't, pick whichever one has the best cover because no matter what one you do, you pick, you're going to enjoy it. Death of the Midway Mermaid is the most recent, and I reviewed it a couple of days ago and absolutely loved it, as you all know. If you didn't watch the video, why not? Because it was such a great book. And so I'll be reviewing Stomped, Tanked, and then Stomped very soon as well. And every time I grab a Bessie Barr book, I'll be reviewing it and sending it out for you all to read. So
I
stick with both of us, please.
I love that. And also, if people want to get Death by the Dunes, that's a freebie to them if they want. They can join my newsletter. So, BessieBarBooks.com, my website, or they can find me on Facebook, Bessie Barr Cozy Mysteries on
Fantastic.
Facebook. Either one of those have the link to that so
Great.
that they can get that book for free and get started that way.
There you go. There's no reasoning. There's no excuses now. Right
That's
now,
right.
stop watching this video, go to bessiebar.com, download Death by the Dunes, read it, and tell us both how much you loved it because we know you will.
I love that. It really is a fun little short baby book
Yeah.
and a nice tip your toe into the series here. So
Yes.
come
So
to the beach, come to Pelican Shores. That's what I always tell people.
fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming to the channel. I really appreciated meeting you. I'm a super fan after only two books, as I told you on Facebook. So please keep writing Pelican Shores, and I'll keep reading them and reviewing them for you.
Oh, Stephen, thank you so much. And thank you to all your viewers. And I just appreciate, honestly, when people pop in there and they feel my heart and the stories that I write and the plots that I try to get in there and make them make sense. So thank you so much for loving them. I appreciate you so much.